Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you've ever wanted to be a podcast guest, the kind that gets invited back, the kind that turns a 30-minute conversation into real visibility and real opportunity, I've built something just for you. It's called Amplify Your Message, the podcast guest mastery experience. This isn't just theory. This is everything I've learned sitting across from 800 plus guests over 6.5 years of doing this show. What makes a guest unforgettable, what makes a host want to bring you back, and how to actually amplify your message instead of just showing up and talking. If you've got a message worth spreading, maybe a book, a business, a mission, this is how you learn to spread it with presence, not just noise. Click the link below to jump in, check it out. Look forward to seeing you in the class. Hello, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Jennifer Urezzio. She is a soul whisperer, a divine codebreaker, a bullshit incinerator, an intuitive strategist, and the founder of Soul Language. Welcome, Jennifer. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, and I'm so excited to be here.
I love the enthusiasm. I am so very excited to have you here to share all about the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you're doing, as well as a bit about your story and your journey. So with that being said, let's get this party started. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's do this thing. So I would love for you to kick the whole thing off by telling us, before the language of soul, before the titles, who was Jennifer in her most human season?
My first response was, she's a little bit of a freak.
We'll go with that. Elaborate.
I was the kid that you could leave in her room for hours, and I would read, or I would invent games or stories, or, you know, I didn't really have dolls. I could have had dolls, but I didn't want one, right? And so I tend to be an introvert, which people are shocked about. I tend to think that I'm not girly, but I am. I like to cook. I have 2 crazy dogs. I'm fierce. I used to blow up at spank tellers. Yeah.
You're a badass.
I'm a badass. There is a story where I did punch somebody, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast episode, I think.
I tend to talk first before I think. And I tend to tell people what's on my mind. I'm direct. And I'm funny, and I don't even know I'm funny.
All right. I love that. So what was the catalyst moment then that your old identity died, and how did you know that you couldn't go back even if you wanted to?
Maybe I have or I haven't. I don't remember. But I was on the platform of the PATH train in Harrison, New Jersey, going into the city. And I had to meet a client. I was working for this amazing woman who's my best friend called Erin Saxton, and I had to go somewhere. So I'm on the platform, and I'm at the end where nobody goes because it's like all the way. Sitting there, and I had this vision of me being on a cliff with this white dress, and I was like, oh my God, there's something more inside of me. What the F am I doing?
You could swear. Okay, it's okay, Jennifer.
Yeah. I hate when people swear in my podcast because then you have to hit that little button that says non-clean. So I was like, wow, there's something bigger inside of me. I wasn't really allowed to talk to clients most of my career because I would tell them the truth. And I couldn't manage up, but I managed down really good. Meaning, I'm like, why are you people in charge? Buffoonish. And so that's the moment where I was like, I don't think I can keep doing this. And I said to Erin, my boss at the time, I'm like, and my best friend, I'm going to go freelance in 3 months. And she's like, okay, great. And 3 months comes by, and she's like, are you going to go freelance tomorrow? I was like, what? She's like, I made plans. I was like, okay. She didn't make any plans. And so that's the moment I went freelance. And I realized that sometimes I think, I'm going to just quit this, take a real job. And my boyfriend always says, have you not met you? I don't think I could ever go back for anyone to tell me what to do. It just doesn't drive well with me. And after 17 years of deciding what I want to do every moment, it really doesn't jive well with me. I think I knew instantly. And it took me about 4 months to stop doing PR and just work solid on my company. And I was crying the days of PR. And I was like, this is not good. This is not making me happy. They want to make a round box square and a square box round. They think it's life and death situations. And as an entrepreneur now, I can see the fear in that. I can see why people thought it was life and death. But I'm like, really? I used to say, someone kidnaps Oprah. Turn me in because I did it. Because everyone would be like, I want to be on Oprah. I'm like, you make candles. You're a candle company. Give me the person who's actually designing the company and maybe we can get you on Oprah. But have you seen the show? Because she's not having you on the show. So I think all along, I went to school for photography. And so I got out of school and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And then I went into PR and I was really good at it. And I would create my own silly little job titles. And I would say, yeah, I don't do that. And I was so good at my job that they'd be like, oh, okay. Herb, who's probably dead by now, from KCSA, I told him I don't write, which is funny. Now I write books, but I don't write. And Adam, one of the partners, was sitting in a meeting with me. And he goes, okay, go write the pitch letter and go pitch it. I was like, yeah, I don't write. He's like, what? It's like, yeah, I don't. It's not part of my job. And he was like, you could see the head splitting open. Yeah. And he gets on the phone. He's like, what does she mean she doesn't write, Herb? And he slams down the phone. And now Herb's on the other side of the office, which is a block, New York City block. You can hear him saying F words that I never even knew existed all the way down. And he's like, she doesn't write, Adam. Get a guy to write it and give it to her. She'll make it perfect. And Adam never spoke to me again after.
Oh, wow.
He would have people talk to me during a meeting. It was like, tell Jennifer that right here. It was like that Galaxy Quest with the computer, like where she talks to the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really realized I'm really good at some things. And I don't like the bullshit. I just don't like it. And I can see it a mile away. And people think the bullshit's so important. And I'm like, no. And
let's get down to what's important.
And so I think after I found this crazy little job that I created, I knew, like that, it felt all like your best comfortable sweater that has all of that, has the perfect fit that you never want to throw away. That's what my job feels like to me.
I love it. So at what point then did you realize that you weren't becoming someone powerful, but remembering someone ancient? And what broke that illusion for you?
It's a really interesting question. I don't know if there was a moment, right? Okay. I think there's no golden ticket in my moment, right? There's all these little moments where they add up to one and you're like, oh. I think I always knew that there was something powerful. And I believe that nobody has any more power than anyone on this planet. It's how we use it.
Yep.
And I think, I was going to say, I didn't realize how well I could use my power until last year. That's how I feel.
Wow.
And if you ask me next year, I will say the same thing. I didn't realize how powerful I was until last year. I think it grows every moment of every day. And I think it's an embodying every day. And I know the more I know, the less I know. I'm sorry. I had hazelnuts.
That's
and
okay.
I love hazelnuts.
As long as you're okay.
They hate me, but I love hazelnuts.
Oh, you have a love-hate relationship.
They're so tasty.
Can you please share with us exactly what soul language is? Let's dive right in. I want to get into this and what it means to you, why this work has become so integral, and how you embody it on a daily basis.
So I was asking really big questions in 2008. Why am I here? Why do I resonate with that person and on another person? What is that? And how do I find more of my people? And I'm really pissed off God. So what do we do with that? Like, I know what my purpose is, powerful healer and teacher in the spotlight of service. Great. Yay. What do I do with that? And I'm on a massage table covered in red clay. And I'm asking these questions and I hear, oh, that's soul language. I was like, and I said to the woman who's covering me in red clay, can you get me a pen? And she's, what? I was like, can you get me a pen? Soul language is a framework. It's an evolutionary paradigm, meaning it grows in consciousness. Unlike human design or archetypal works or Enneagram, those are stagnant. They do not evolve, meaning they're not, the energy of that kind of subject matter is not an evolutionary. The energy of soul always changes. And so what I did was, through divine guidance, was put tangibility of the soul and the soul of the business through 3 different core energies: your mission, how you fuel that mission, and then your soulful personality. So great, Jen, why would you want that? Because human beings love words for shit. And when you have the words, you're like, oh, I totally get that. That's me. And then you can utilize that energy consciously rather than from pain and programming. So I'll give you a tangible example. So in corporate America, so one of my, sorry, I just thought of in 1910 in Sicily from the Golden Girls, but
Golden Girls yet.
So when I was in corporate America, I would ask for a pen. They'd be like, why are you so aggressive? And I'm like, I asked for a pen. That is based on me utilizing my category of soulful personality. My language in that category is called graceful warrior unconsciously. So I would always feel internally like I had to fight for everything I wanted or everything I needed, right? And I would never leave a man down, right? And so that's why it was great managing below. But above, I'm like, are you kidding me? You people are in charge. There are people out on the field dying because you can't make up your mind or because you think this is important. Once I started using that energy consciously, what happens is I became an unstoppable freight train of goodness, right? So instead of fighting for things I wanted, I championed them. And that allowed everything to fall into place. So soul language is not my purpose. It's a delivery system. It's a kick-ass delivery system. My purpose is about connection, right? And so when I accepted that, the delivery system showed up. Why I think soul language should be in everyone's hands is because it gives humans a tangible way to connect with their essential nature. And when you know that you're whole and complete, you create from wholeness and completeness versus fear and pain, which is a lot of being created right now from fear, pain, and the jockeying of power.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful and so powerful. And so what surprised you the most about the way soul language began working through you?
I've gotten this question in so many different ways, and I don't think it surprised me, meaning it was just there, right? It wasn't like, oh, this is fascinating. It was just like my eye color, right? It was always there. I just wasn't aware of it. What was unique was that I had been collecting the information all of my life and not knowing it. So when I first started downloading the paradigm, I would ask a question and then I would get a response in my body and in my head. Or things would be like a book would fall off the bookshelf and I'd be like, oh, I guess that's a soul language, right? And I would open up the book and it would lead me to the page. I was like, oh, right? I was gathering and collecting all the information. And it was so second nature. It was so who I was that it didn't feel strange. And I think the reason for that is because I had worked on my intuitive abilities and talking with my soul so long that it was second nature. So I remember going to a friend at one point early on before I downloaded soul language. Oh my God, I'm not intuitive anymore. She asked me a question and I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. She's like, yeah, you're not intuitive. But it didn't feel any different. It felt like who I am. This morning I was in the shower and I leaned my head down and this whole vision came of me. A past life, which doesn't normally happen every day in the shower, right? And I was like, whoa, that felt different, right? There's times where it does feel different, but normally it's just who I am. And so
it's just part of your DNA.
Right? It's like trying to separate your eye color out. I can't do that.
It's just not doable.
No, technically it is. I could wear contacts, but
yes, you could. So when did you first realize then that something otherworldly was moving through you? Not imagination, not mindset, but transmission?
I don't know. I think the moment was I was talking to Erin, and she had this woman that she worked with, and that woman said, "Oh, Jen needs to talk to this woman, Susan, who Susan worked with like top celebrities and top writers all over the world with their intuition and getting their ideas and blah, blah, blah." And when I worked with Susan, it was 6 weeks, and it was more money than I had spent at that time on anything, including an Alaskan vacation. Like, it was a huge amount of money. And I was different. I was more who I knew I could be at the end than at the beginning. I think that was the moment. And I remember going into the office, because I didn't work with Erin at that time. Her assistant had a baby like a month earlier than she was supposed to. She's like, "Oh my God, can you help me?" I was like, "Okay." And I answered the phone. I transferred it over to her, and I hear her go, "That's Jennifer." Yeah, that's Jennifer. My voice was unrecognizable, right? It was different. I think that was the moment that I realized that your essential nature is not the makeup of your pain and programming, right? Your essential nature is something warm and delicious. It can be strong, it can be edgy, right? And yet it's not laced in this pain. It's not laced in what happened to you when you were 7. It's really a roadmap, or a kind of it's more like a song of your own divinity. And I think that was one of the moments where I went, "Oh, this could be really fun. This could be really cool.
This is different."
Right? Like, okay, like I don't have to be mad all the time. And most of the time I didn't even know I was mad all the time.
Yeah. What a powerful moment and realization, though. Holy shit.
Yeah, listen.
That's life-changing.
It is life-changing, and I've been doing it now for 17 years. And
wow, that long?
Yeah. And so I've actually now surpassed the number of years that I worked in corporate America as an entrepreneur, right? Yes, I'm old, which is a whole nother realization in itself. But it's now, I tell clients all the time that our pain is kind of boring, right? All of our pain is the same. The story is different. It's how we connect that's unique. I, in my own personal life, forget about how my connection's unique because I'm so focused on trying to make that connection even stronger that I'm tweaking where the pain is. So I forget sometimes how really magical being connected and fun it is for myself. If I'm teaching a class, I get off that class and I'm like, whoa, what fun was that? And oh my God, I got to write that down because what I said was really profound, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad that was recorded. But when we kind of have to turn it on ourselves, I think there's a lot of nitpicking about our separation. And I still have that warrior, so I can go like, why aren't we strong enough there? And what's happening there? And can we move faster there? And that's my work, right? That's my way I need to connect. Each day it never gets boring. You're never doing the same. I'm doing these the same way, but it's not the donut commercial. Gotta make the donuts, right?
It's not mundane, and you're not dreading it.
Yeah.
What do you believe your soul signed up to teach in this lifetime?
I could tell you the marketing speak, and then I can
no.
Like I always tell clients it's not marketing speak. I think what it signed up to teach me is to profoundly love and accept yourself, right? And once you do that, it's like you got the go card. It's kind of easy peasy, so to speak. I also feel that not to take things so freaking serious, right? Like I can be so serious and death grip of control. That's what my soul is here to allow the human to evolve and experience and take back to the collective so they can kind of do it better, right? But I think I'm somebody who puts tangibility to soul, right? We're putting silly human words to something that is so beyond our little pea brain recognition. So I guess it's just to be really understanding the deep connection. I love to be magical, right? I love that. Ooh, where did that come from? Oh my God. About 15 years ago, I lost, 16 years ago, I got corrected. I lost a clip-on earring. Now, I lost it in a room of the library that was a conference room and contained. I didn't step out of the room. I never left the room. We searched over. We shook out my jacket, my clothes. It was gone. 3 days later, I'm going up the steps to my apartment, and there's the earring right there on the steps, right? That is freaky magical, right? The time where I'm talking to God, yelling at God and my dead dad, like, I want you to know who I am. I want proof. When a song comes on the radio of my dad, that my dad like goes, yeah, too easy. And then the announcer comes on, he goes, hey, everyone, thanks for sending in your requests. And from all those places where we heard music, he's going on and on. I'm rolling my eyes. And he goes, and then Brothers 3. And I roll off the side of the highway because that was the name of my father's bar that I forgot he owned. Right?
Wow.
That is magical. That is otherworldly. I love that. Right? That makes me feel like a superhero.
That's what life's all about, is those magical moments.
Right? I want to,
but also having the awareness, because that's the key piece, is the self-awareness and the awareness to pick up on those things, on those magical moments when they do come across.
Now, I'm going to say something, and if you tell anyone, I will hunt you down and kill you. I would love for life to be like a musical where people just spontaneously burst into song, right? That to me is, fun. I think that's the flip side of being serious, right? The control, the making sure everyone's okay. And then if we just burst into song, are people going to get what they want? Is that going to feel connected? Is that strong enough? So there's this duality in me of being really fierce and wanting to burst out into song all at the same time. And when you align that to an alignment that's in flow, it becomes this unstoppable freight chain of goodness. And when I offer that to my clients, their perfect formula to do that, they'll come over and listen. Guess what happened today? Like weird stuff in the most amazing way. And I know I am not in charge of the how. I'm just in charge of the next step. I just have to. That's why I do what I do, because I forget a lot. So if I keep talking about it and keep telling everyone, I think my brain will remember.
And the magic will just begin to unfold.
Yes, we'll be all singing and dancing.
In a musical.
Yeah.
In our own individual musicals.
Yeah, I love that.
What do you see happening in humanity right now that makes your work more necessary than ever?
That's a big sigh. I see that someone told me in astrology, we're at the same astrology signs that we were before the Civil War, right? I see that the cream is rising to the top. The old ways of doing, being, acting, expressing they're not feasible. Not only that, but they should not be tolerated. And in order to do that, I think the mass has to be so in your face, because the actively working conscious people have been saying this for a long time, but now we need the mass, or the muggles, as people would say, to up level and go, you all know that the emperor is naked, right? That he thinks he has new clothes on and he doesn't, right? Right? We all need that. And I think it's getting to a fever pitch where people can't ignore it and they really get to make a decision, right? Yeah. Warner and I were talking about the attempt on Trump's life this morning at breakfast. This is what we do at breakfast. And I said, yeah, I bet he was a fanatic, right? He goes, he was a Trump supporter. That's so weird. I was like, no. If you're a fanatic, if you support someone so much and they disappoint you, right? A logical and unfanatic person would go, reflect, but a fanatic would go, oh my God, my heart's broken. What should I do? I'm going to eradicate what broke my heart, right? I think we're at the point of deciding which way we want to be as a human race, as a country, an individual. And the only way that does that, because humans need to be hit over the head for learning, is with loud bangs.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there is a lot of hatred and divisiveness in the world, and this is what the powers that be want because it allows for control and all of those things. But in spite of all that, I think this is one of the greatest times to be alive in the history of the world because we are seeing shit happen in real time. Things are being burned to the ground, which is what we need. Everything needs to be burned down to the foundation and rebuilt again. And so we get to be part of that. We get to help facilitate that. And to witness that is out of this fucking world. It is so incredible. It really is.
And we each get to make a decision. Like, I really stay out of politics. But
Me
we
too.
get to make a decision about where we're putting our energy and where we're putting our weight energetically.
Yes.
And it's not all like, no, shiny rainbows, Care Bears, right? It's really about who we want to be as human beings, right?
Who we want to surround ourselves with. It's about finding those heart and like-minded people and gathering those people to stand with you and unite and come together and do this work collectively.
And I have to believe even the individual with the most skewed beliefs, there's still something beating inside of them that knows that we're all whole and complete and we're all one with whatever they call their higher power. And that's the direction we want to go. So I always speak to their listening. And then
I love that.
Thank you. And then I do my job and see where that ripple effect lands.
That's the thing, right? We have to continue on the paths on our paths of our work, what we are here to do, to share our gifts. We can't affect change up here at this level. It's above our pay grade, so to speak. So I think we need to continue to focus our time and our energy, which is a more valuable use of our energy, on our work to continue to gather heart and like-minded people who are on the same path to come together and raise the vibration of the consciousness together. We need to do this in community with one another.
Yeah. You have to determine your role, right? What role works for you, what role your human and your soul wants, and then move from there and see how you can support the other roles.
Yes, 1000%. I love that. In your opinion, then, what is one of the most dangerous lies humanity collectively believes about itself?
That they're not enough, right? Look at all that has been created from feelings of not enough or feelings of being separate, right? I heard this story once of JFK talking to some scientist about getting on the moon. And he said to the scientist, what do you think we could do it? And he goes, if you believe we can do it, we can do it. There's such power in what we believe. There's a great line that I love from the Da Vinci Code that says, men will go to far greater lengths from what they fear than for what they love. Power. So I think the not enough lie is huge. It's huge. Even the people who have physically enough are still telling that lie to themselves. And then it becomes this race of scarcity, of consumption, of turning people against each other or putting someone else's them down because they're not enough. And listen, I am not a Pollyanner. I am not. I've yelled at people in the car. I yelled at the dog this morning because she was almost chasing a skunk, right? But in the end, I'm going to be the person that, when I was in corporate America, we went to, I think it was Petco, right? Because our job was so stressful that at the noontime hour, we would go look at animals in cages because it made ourselves feel better. And I remember standing there, and there was this guy next to this woman, and he was reaching his hand in her purse. And I went, before I could even think about it, I was like, hey, what are you doing? And I slapped his hand, right? And he's like, I wasn't doing anything. I was like, oh, yes, you were, right? And the woman's, oh, my God, thank you so much. I have $7 until payday. I'm like, not. But we got at it, and my friend went, what did you? I would have never done that. He could have pulled out a gun and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I didn't even think about it. I didn't wasn't a conscious thought. It was the right action. And I think that when we get down to the nitty gritty, most humans want to do the right action. They want to do the conscious thing. They want to help their fellow man. And it's just putting those people in charge that will eventually reset where we are.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe with every fiber of my being, there's far more good in this world and there's far more light out there. And we just need to continue to amplify that light and shine that light, because the light will always beat back the darkness.
The light has always wins. And here's the thing. We don't combat the dark, right? All we have to do is look at it and go, you don't bother me. And it has to slink away and find somewhere else to play, because there's not enough then life force or energy for it to expand, right? And so if we keep coming, oh my God, did you just say that? What? It allows for that energy that is being built up to dissipate. And then we can transform it. Then we can make it something that is sustainable fuel, rather than like rocket fuel that goes just up and then it's one shot and we're over kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. What is one soul language message that shows up across almost all humans, regardless of their background?
I think a lot of people I think the message that the soul always says is that you are enough, that you are worthy. Right? There's only three fears. There's only three big limiting beliefs: that you are unworthy, that you are unworthy of love, or that love is conditional. After that, it's just different branches on that one of those big roots, right? So I think the soul is always saying the exact opposite of those big limiting beliefs. You're worthy, you're enough, you're loved, you're supported. And then the human has to take that and use it as wool to make their tapestry of their world, versus what the mind will put us in the illusion of safety. Well, hang back, you're not enough, let's go back here, don't ask for too much. But that's what I hear time and time again when the different soul languages, either via human or that big energy, say.
And it's such it keeps us stuck. It keeps us small, and we are all worthy of and deserving of love. And it all starts here within us. We are the foundation for all of it. And then it ripples out from within us.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most sought after experiences of humanity. And I think most humans are terrified of it, right? There's
the highest vibration on the planet.
Scared. And yet they want to be loved. But then they have to open themselves up to love. Most human little brains are going to go, what if God doesn't love me? And what if I ask God and God goes, you know what, Jen? You do suck. Never going to happen. But I think I hear that time and time again. What if God doesn't? It is a reflection of everything that is, for lack of a better term, because we're human, but is good, is pure. Right? It just is. It doesn't have judgment. And we don't really know what to do with that.
Yeah, that's a big thing for sure. If Earth is a school, we always hear we're here on Earth School. We're here at Earth School. What's the core curriculum, in your opinion?
I think the core curriculum is trust, right? Trusting in yourself, trusting in your soul, trusting in divinity, trusting in humanity. And trust is an active participation. I think humans are strange. They're on this kind of journey and I would say the movie phone, because Seinfeld, Kramer played the movie phone guy. Just tell me the movie you want me to see, right?
Yeah.
We just want to know the movie you want us to see, and then we're going to feel. But it just doesn't work that way, right? And I think that biggest lesson is to trust we're safe in the unknown, to trust that we're on the right path. Right, in quotes, to trust that all of our needs, wants, and desires are being met, to trust that we're making the right choice for ourselves. I think that's the biggest kind of theme I see across the board in what people are here to develop and experience. And if we look at it, and if we are the individualization of the one, and our little individual soul drop goes back into the one, I could see why the one would be like, what do you mean you don't? It just is, right? There's no
Yeah.
duality. But I could see how that consciousness wants to develop a better understanding in the reflection of that.
Love this conversation, Jen. This is so powerful and deep and introspective. These are the conversations we need to be having more of in the world.
Yeah, with people who then can make immediate decisions based on that information.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think that we as humans fundamentally misunderstand about why we're here?
I think that depends on the culture you live in. I think in the United States of America, I get yelled at when I say it's America because Warner his parents are from Central America. He's like, that's in America too. I think our misunderstanding is that this is a race, right? That this is like, let's do as fast as we can. Let's consume. Let's get where we want, blah, blah, blah. Other cultures, I don't see that as much. But for the United States, it feels like we are under this assumption that this is I think for us, it comes from manifest destiny, right? Got to consume, got to get bigger, blah, 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 right? We've set it up. We are a nation of cars. We are a nation of consumers. We are a nation of let's forge ahead. Let's create new roads. And there's not a lot of stillness in us, right? Until August, where we get 2 weeks. And then we come back and we're like, oh, we want every day to be that way. And 4 minutes later, we're back to the kind of race. I think that's for that what I see over here. A big thing of misinterpretation is the answers are outside of us, right? The questions are outside of us. The answers are within, right? I don't have any more answers than you. I ask really good questions, right? Really good.
And you take the time to sit with yourself, to go within to find the answers. That's part of the problem is people don't want to sit, as you're saying, people are forging ahead. It's this hustle culture bullshit. I don't have time to sit still. I don't have time to do this. And I think a lot of that comes from fear of sitting still and having to go within. They're scared of what they'll see. They're scared they won't like what they see. All of these things. Canada, it's the same shit here. We don't take the time to sit and reflect and to be still. There is so much power in the pause. And honestly, if we learn nothing else from COVID, I remember reading an article just after COVID started, and the author was talking about the absolute power there was because the world was fucking still, and how incredible that was, and how much we can slow our lives down and slow down and smell the roses, as they say, and all of these different things. You can notice that the sky was clearer because there wasn't all these cars.
There was coyotes on the top of a building in San Francisco. Did they take an elevator? How did they get up there, right? Those are like, I would sit in the mornings, and we had a lot of deer in Morristown. I live in Scranton now, right? And I would notice deer every morning come up the block, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you have warrior energy, oming, sitting still, is going to be uncomfortable in the body, right? Do a walking meditation. Grab the dog. Knead dough. Wash the dishes so your body is moving. But yeah, stillness is key.
It is, for sure. We all need that time to sit with ourselves, and you will find the answers you need because they are within you. If every human has a divine operating system, what would you say is the biggest bug running most people's lives in that system?
That they don't know it, right? That they think the logical answer, the school answer is the right answer, right? Like I remember at the airport and I had a lot of things and I had to want to rush through and I just want to sit at the gate and I'm at the counter and my wallet is blinking. I was like, hey, I don't have time for you. No. And so I go through the gate and I pass these water bottles and they're blinking. I was like, I got water. I'm not buying you. And it's blinking. I was like, fine. And I go in my bag to get my wallet. And guess what? It's on the counter. Right? And I go back and the woman's, we have been calling you on the loudspeaker for over half an hour. And I did not hear it once. Right? Right? It's when we are locked down in control into fear. God could come down and say, hey, Jen, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Right? It's that kind of thing. And I think we forget that we have everything we need here. We might need help in deciphering it, releasing it, understanding it, right? Those are help or guides from people who have jumped that hurdle and can help you jump it faster. Not that it's a race, but we don't have to do everything in pain.
And everything doesn't have to take forever. Sorry, I just had to say that, Jen.
I agree with you. We are in the process of closing on a house Thursday, fingers crossed. And it's been a really good lesson for me. And I'll have to admit, a painful lesson about letting go and trusting and really going to it. Is there something I should do now? And letting other people be in charge of things. And like, it's a very good lesson and it's expanding. And yeah, I still want it to go quicker, right? But it's not a quicker as in, it's a quicker feeling because I need it to go quicker so then I can feel there's no anxiety, that I can rest, right? Okay, Jen. But the next thing you want something to go quicker, all that anxiety is going to come up again. So maybe we should deal with this now. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking way. Just make it happen, right? And I think we forget, we take everything so seriously. Right?
We do. Life is not that serious, people.
No, and everything's not about life and death, right? Only life and death is about life and death. And it really only happens in that moment. It's not, right? We're not being chased by a bear, right? And so often we have this, I was told today that by a very good friend of mine, Jennifer Bloom, who I adore, said, I think you're making this harder on yourself than you have to be. I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I am. But
that's me.
And because I have warrior nature, and people who have warrior nature are nodding their heads right now, I love to push everything through really fast. Oh, we want evolution. Okay, let's do it all at once. Right?
No time.
Let's just do it all at once. And so the good thing is, I now know that on the other side, it's really blissful. And I had to keep remembering that this is just growth and it's just not showing me where I feel separate. And on the other side is what people call an up level or a deeper connection with the divine. And I'm a totally different person than I was 17 years ago. I just keep getting better in this connection process. And I survived that one and I'll survive this one and I'll Stop making this so hard on yourself.
Yeah, we are our own biggest hurdles. We are our own worst enemies. It is horrible what we do to ourselves, how we talk to ourselves. It's brutal. That needs to change.
Yeah, I think what needs to change, because I don't know if the human mind evolutionary is up to that yet, but what we need to do, or we get to do, is recognize it and then scale back, right?
Yes.
And if anyone says that they never do that, they're lying to you.
You're full of shit.
Right? They're lying to you.
Yeah, absolutely. If someone could decode only one message from their soul this year, what do you think it should be?
The phrase, the word, the activation, the knowing of moving from pain and suffering, whatever that looks like, to neutrality. Right? In that consciousness of neutrality, doors open. You realize the challenge doesn't mean you suck, right? That's the place. If we can decode that little message, that little key phrase, so we could, and then choose to be wholeness and completeness, I like to put that in a bottle, right?
And sell it.
Totally. It would be bigger than the pet rock.
Or give it away. Yes. Or the chia pet.
Oh my God. Two things that when anyone goes to my client goes, I don't even know how this would sell. I go, 2 words, pet rock.
That's a good reminder.
Like,
that is a very good reminder.
It's cookies on a rock. Come on. Brilliant idea. Anything can sell.
Yeah, for sure. I would love for you to speak directly to the woman listening who feels called to more, but doesn't quite trust herself yet. What does her soul want or need to hear?
I think it's about asking yourself, what would it feel like right here if I just activated trust? Right? Like really just keep building that feeling in your body. Your body knows that feeling, even if you've never experienced it, if you've never felt it, but it does know. There's a place that knows. And from there, take those steps. And also figure out why there's a lack of trust, right? Have you hung your hat on an experience where you thought you trust and you were missing the red, we all have, you're missing the red flags, and no, I could just pass that. And now because you've had that pain and sorrow, you're not trusting yourself, right? Like, really do some self-diagnosis from a place of non-judgment and start to rebuild that trust in areas where it's not life and death for you, right? And stop talking to the people who you want to trust or you think you can trust, but you really know you can't.
Do you have any little exercises that you can share to start building that trust?
Yeah, you want to play with me?
Sure.
Okay, so we are going to use your body to do this exercise. We call that divine intelligence. It knows where to pump the blood. If you kind of get on my bus, it will all happen. So close your eyes. And you're going to repeat after me. Divine intelligence.
Divine intelligence.
Fill my body.
Fill my body.
With the feeling and knowing.
With the feeling and knowing.
Of divine trust.
Of divine trust.
And just tell me what you notice.
Calm.
Yeah. There you are. You just built it.
That was easy.
And anytime you're in not lack of trust, you do that. And if you have to do it 100 times a day or 100 times an hour, you do it 100 times an hour, right? You just want to pause the reactive part of your nervous system, right? So you could settle and let soul in. Thank you. And then you would, before you take a action, you want to fill your body with trust and see if that action resonates with the feeling of your body. Listen, most people really do now. They're just overriding themselves.
Yeah. As we said, we are our own worst enemies.
Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing that little exercise. Beautifully helpful. I love it. I'm going to have to write that down when we're done.
I'll send it to you.
You're going to have to repeat that. Okay, beautiful. Love it. What does radical self-responsibility actually look like in real life?
I think it's not taking responsibility for things that you aren't responsible for, right? Really understanding how you want to respond to the world, where you're taking on someone else's burden, where are you fooling yourself, and also really understanding what you're putting into the energy field between you and everyone on this planet and deciding if that's really what you want to put into this energy field, right? So why did I used to scream at bank tellers? Oh, both my parents were bankers. Okay. And not getting what I want, and they would not give me what I want, and I would like, right? So really understanding what your portion is and what everyone else's portion. Listen, I'm on my own channel. You're on your own channel. We're making cameos on each other's channel, right?
Yes.
But I'm responsible for my programming on my channel. I'm not responsible for how you program on your channel. And I think so often, especially if you have warrior energy or a master healer, you feel this responsibility for the world. And I'm like, screw that. You got enough going on with just you, right? And so if you just have to keep asking yourself, what did I put into this energy field to create this impact, this effect, this outcome, this result? And then ask yourself if is that what you really want to?
That's a beautiful analogy. The channels and having cameo appearances on each other's channels, but ultimately we have the choice of what we program, what we put on our channels, and which of course is frequency. So you get to decide what frequency you're vibrating at, and you don't control anyone else's frequency.
No, you don't. And you get to stop trying to, because it's a losing battle. And listen.
Yes, you're never going to win.
Yeah,
that.
And sometimes there's going to be people turning over tables on your channel. Sometimes it's going to be like that fireplace where they play the nice spa music, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, action movie, right? It's okay. But you get to really to see how you respond and tweak that programming.
I love that.
Thank you.
The fireplace.
Oh my God.
Spa music.
The
fish tank.
Warner loves that, right? If we leave the TV on, the music with it's like a tree in a room and there's spa music, and it'll be downstairs on and it's loud, and I'm like, I hate it, and it makes me so calm, and I was like, oh my God, I just would like put anything else on.
Yeah.
He's like floating down there. I'm like, yeah.
But I can't control
No,
Warner's
I don't.
channel. His programming. How do you recognize when a soul is ready for the next level?
What next level are we talking about?
Leveling up, moving up.
I think it's the humanity that's actually recognizable, right? So the human is feeling either like there's something more that's okay. So there's different levels of active consciousness, right? And so if someone is just moving pebbles across their sand from one consciousness level to another, they're going to feel like there's something bigger. If they're moving boulders, it's going to be like scarcity and pain and suffering. I used to live upstairs from this woman, and the floors were really thin. And she would have the same conversation with everyone. She would have it with her boyfriend, like, you don't hear me, you don't listen to me. Then she'd have it with her mother, you don't hear me, you don't listen to me. Then she would have it with her best friend, you don't hear me, you don't listen to me. And I wanted to go down and says, look, it's not them, it's you.
What's the common denominator
right?
here?
Like, hello. It's noticing where you feel an overwhelming sense of feeling separate or not enough or scarcity. For people who are actively working the program, so to speak, those signs are going to be sneakier, subtler, right? It's going to feel like a dissatisfaction, something not quite right. I'm not really getting the clients I want, or I'm bored with them, or why am I not getting the subtler things I want? But for someone who's like at the beginning of their journey, it's going to be like boulders of pain and suffering.
What does it actually mean to have a relationship with your soul? Not the concept of it.
I think what it actually means is a co-creation. Is you know that you're much more than there's this humanness. You know that there's something bigger that is magical, that is unexplainable. And you're working, the image I had was synchronized swimmers, right? Good ones, right? Where you're each doing the part of creating what you want. That's what it feels like to me.
I love that definition. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
What do you think blocks soul communication the most? Besides us.
I don't like to use the word fear because it's like a catch-all, right? But I think what blocks it is the human not accepting their own divinity, right? It's the human and what humans have learned. Listen, centuries ago, we got to sit around a fire and we got to talk and we were connected to the land and to the sky, right?
Yep.
We don't do that anymore, right? Like that, right?
No, we don't. That's long gone.
But I think when we are having that kind of remembering, there's that feeling that, oh, I'm connected both earth and sky, and there's this rhythm for it.
We need a hell of a lot more than that. We need that back. More of that, not more than that. We need a hell of a lot more of that, because that's where that's relatability to others. That's connection with others, which is the most important piece, because we're not meant to do this thing called life alone.
No, we are,
Nor can we. We can't.
No, we need a human to do almost anything, right? Even if you're going to go off grid, you still need humans at some point to bring you something that you can't make with your own two hands, right? And so it's kind of silly to think otherwise and to try to act otherwise. And most of us spend a lot of time acting otherwise, right? So I do this call every month with my Facebook group. It's free. It's called Spiritual Renegades Wine and Cheese. Only Sarah Blake brings wine. I love that. All virtual. And towards the end, I'm like, okay, how can I support you? What do you want? What do you need? And it's like crickets. I'm like, guys, I ask this I like, what do you want? What do you need? People are like, they do know what they want. They do know what they need, but they're afraid to ask. And one of the other things that happens during networking calls, I'll go, okay, so how can I support you? What do you want? What do you need? And please don't say more clients, because we all need more clients. Really, what do you want? Really, what do you need? Let me see if I can help you get that, right?
We all do know inherently. We know what we want.
We're afraid to say.
It's just, yes, we are, because of how and the way we've been conditioned. You do not ask for things because that's being selfish. You do not put yourself first. And women especially deal with this bullshit, this false narrative that putting yourself first, asking for help, asking for support, that's weak. That's
weak. Especially
no.
warrior women. We're like, well, we can't do it alone. We need help, right? Yeah,
And that's okay.
it has to be. Like,
We need to normalize this. We need to normalize asking for help, asking for support. And we do that through conversations like you and I are having today. This is how we plant seeds for people. It is okay to ask for help. It is actually, in my opinion, a sign of weakness if you're not asking for help.
yes,
Start asking.
especially when highly intuitive people go, we know she's suffering. And here's the thing. When people are going through a huge experience, they might be locked down and they don't know what they want or what they need, right? So have a couple things in your back pockets. I have a very dear friend. I love her very much. And a couple months ago, what do you want? And what can I do for you? I was like, what? She's like, I need somebody to go over this menu for this client and price it out. I was like, yeah, totally do it. She's like, really? And it's like,
that's the reaction you're gonna get typically, right?
yeah, I'm like,
really?
totally.
You'll help me?
Yeah, I'm like, totally. And I did it. And I went, and I was like, how'd you? She's like, it was great. Thank you. She's like, I couldn't do it. It was like too overwhelming. And it was like then a math problem in my head. And I was like, I like to be organized.
I think people are scared for fear of, scared to ask for help for fear of rejection as well. It's a big part of it for sure.
You're asking
what if they say no?
You're asking the wrong people. Right? And 10 to 1, they're trying to ask the energy that always rejects them, right? That always says no.
More often than not, if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, of course they're going to help you. Absolutely. I end every discovery call I do with or podcasting. How can I be of service to you? What can I do to help you? How can I support you? Please, this is why we're all here on this planet, is exactly for this reason, is to be in and of service to one another, to cheerlead each other, to support each other, to lift each other up. That's it.
Agreed. Some people are like, oh my God, you're so generous. I'm going to introduce you to 2 people. I didn't give you my dog, right? Giving you my dog would be generous. That would be crazy, right?
It's not rocket science.
It isn't. But when we're all locked down in our own suffering and we've been taught to be separate, to be independent, right?
Yeah.
My mother is fiercely independent. I am fiercely independent, right? But this doesn't always have to be black and white. This can be shades of gray.
Yeah, we don't have to be siloed, nor are we meant to be. That's it, right? What is one question that you can provide, that you can ask, that listeners can sit with daily, that will start unlocking their soul's communication?
What do I need to know today? It's the most
plain and simple.
It's the most profound and yet very simple. Make some notes so you start to understand how your database works, right? And then come back at the end of the day and go, excuse me, oh, I saw this and that's what that meant. Painted over the weekend. Not good, right? And so that will help you understand your own database.
Okay. If you could leave listeners with one soul language transmission, one truth to carry for the rest of their lives, what would you want that to be?
Stop believing that you're anything but whole and complete. And it's also something that I think we need to keep hearing time and time again. The not enough is not going to go away. It is a tool here to bring you closer to your connection. It's a signal that you feel separate. So when it comes up, stop trying to eradicate it and start loving it into submission.
I love that.
Thank you.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
I have courage. I'm determined. I'm very determined. And I really see and hear people. I have the ability to put up that mirror and they feel seen and heard. And I think that everyone wants to be seen and heard. And so when they felt it, they're like, oh my God, how can I work with you? It's that. And I'm a super connector. I love to make connections.
How do you define success?
I'm successful every day. It might not be the way I want to be successful, but every day I get a result. So I determine success by results. And then I get to determine if that result is something I really like or not. And if I really like it, then I get to move forward from there.
I love that.
Thank you.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
I think that's an overused word because I think people are like empowered and then I roll my eyes. I think it's an embodiment of power within its truly sense, right? No one can take your power. We all have the same amount of power. It's how we use it. So when we're empowered, we're utilizing our power to its fullness capabilities.
Love it.
Thank you.
Utilizing it to its full capability.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions will just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing.
Oh, I love a rapid fire. Lay it on me.
All right, let's go. What is your favorite way to celebrate?
A dance. Like I like to do the celebration dance.
Celebrating is always good. We need more of that in the world.
Agreed.
We need more people to get on that celebration train. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Sorry, I heard the Coke commercial saying, now to know that they're enough. You want a rapid fire?
Yeah. One word to describe your 2020.
2025? It was just crap. It wasn't as crappy as I like, but it wasn't like 26 is like rocking. It was a slog. It was like walking through a snowstorm. And I was in grief most of we had just moved to Scranton. I didn't realize I was in grief leaving New Jersey. So it was quite painful.
One book that changed your life.
Prayer for Owen Meany.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
This is not rapid fire. The first thing was humor. That was my first thing. Yeah.
Okay. One thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance.
I love the way I can get to a problem instantaneously, like right there. I love that the light bulb goes off. I love when I say it and people are like, oh my God, you just enlightened me. And I'm like, yeah, you knew this all along, but I love that feeling. Yeah.
Okay. One word that defines the woman you are becoming.
Fierce.
Love it. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
I like that.
You rocked it. You did good. Just to break the energy up a little bit. You know?
I get it.
From those deep introspective questions. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. How do you define love? Both the kind you give and the kind you receive.
Well, first of all, to be very clear with everyone, I never read the questions, so they were all bonus questions.
Okay, there you go then. Beautiful. I love the transparency.
I can't lie. I would define love, the way I give it and the way I receive it, as without judgment. When I'm really good at it, it's without judgment. It just is.
It just is. Okay. If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, all these superficial day-to-day markers we use, how would you introduce yourself to me?
As a graceful warrior.
Oh, I love that. That's powerful.
Yeah.
If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
What makes you mad? That's what I would have asked myself.
Okay. What makes you mad?
The limiting viewpoint of fear and pain makes me mad. When I can't get past the pain or a limiting belief, I actually get mad. And that starts...
And does that help propel you?
Yeah, it starts the ball rolling. Yeah.
Okay. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Barbra Streisand. Oh, Barbara, please hear this. I come in.
Baba.
Please. I think she's one, super talented, brilliant. She has a impact in my life because my mother loved her. I went to go see Funny Girl when I was a toddler, like really young. I listened to her audiobook because there's no way anyone would read it. And she says a lot of really smart things. And I would like to sit down and have a conversation with her.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Don't waste so much time on people and things you can't change. Just don't waste time.
Time is the most valuable commodity we have.
It's also made up, so...
Yes,
right?
Very true.
Like, it's so weird.
It is a construct of humans. Yes.
Right? And so I would say, hey, don't worry about it. And then I would smack myself, my future self, because my younger self would have been like, what are you talking about? I know myself well enough.
Time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I love that. Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Thank you. There wouldn't be anything else but thank you.
Beautiful. Jennifer, thank you so much for such a fun, enlightening, insightful, introspective, powerful, and inspiring interview. I have enjoyed every moment of our time together.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up and shining and sharing your wisdom, your insights, and of course, the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. It is a very important mission, and I'm just grateful to know you and to call you a friend, to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. You're a beautiful, bright light.
Thank you. It's really lovely to be held by the sacred masculine energy in the way you do it, so we can just show up and be our crazy selves and not have to perform in any way. So thank you, because there's not a lot of spaces to do that.
Thank you. I received that. Very kind of you to say. And I've just enjoyed every moment that I've gotten to spend with you. Thank you so much for sharing. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest has been Jennifer Urezzio. She is a soul whisperer, a divine codebreaker, a bullshit incinerator. I love that title, by the way. An intuitive strategist, and the founder of Soul Language. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Right back at you.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.